United States, where US President Donald Trump, in a Truth Social post, issued a new tariff threat against countries that impose digital taxes and enforce regulations on tech companies. Trump stated that these regulations are discriminatory towards American tech companies and give Chinese tech firms a free run. President Trump has threatened that he would impose additional tariffs on that country's exports to the United States, which does not remove taxes and such taxes and legislations. Trump also threatened to restrict the exports of highly protected technology and chips from United States to countries that do not remove these regulations. We are now joined by Jayjit Bhattacharya. He is an economist and finance expert, and he joins us live from New Delhi. Jayjit Bhattacharya, thank you very much for joining us here on the program. Digital taxes, what are they? Who benefits from them? Is there any backup to what Trump is stating here, that that certain countries are discriminatory towards American over Chinese? What more can you tell us, and context can you bring to this story?
First we need to understand what is digital tax. When a good is exported to another country, there is a tax code which the US administration calls as the tariff. So various countries have tariffs for goods, but when a similar service is provided digitally, for example, a Google ad search or e-commerce, there is no tax that is imposed by most countries. It was getting neglected. There was some kind of an understanding to not have digital goods taxed. But that does not make sense for most countries, because it is their region which is being used, it's their economy which is being used, while the taxes from the profits are going somewhere else. And typically these are tax havens in which these taxes are going. And so there was a comparative taxation that was going on, where one regime would say, if you set up your headquarters in our tax jurisdiction, then we will tax you much lower, which would be a bleeding which will happen for governments which are not the tax havens. And the business is happening in those economies, but the government is not getting any taxes, and some other government was getting the taxes, which is where the concept of digital tax, or as it's called in India, the equalization levy, was put in. And this was just to bring in parity and to ensure that there is taxation imposed on an equal basis, and the services that are being provided have tax parity, and that's what the digital tax is all about. Now, countries such as India have actually unilaterally rolled back such taxes. India had removed its 6% equalization levy, and then before that, which was on the advertisements, before that, there was a 2% equalization levy on e-commerce, which has also been rolled back. But other countries and economies which have not rolled back their digital taxes, what the US administration is saying is that we will come after you unless you roll back those taxes. And in addition, what the Trump administration is also saying is that these taxes have been put only on American digital organizations such as Amazon and Facebook and so on, but they're not being put against Chinese tech organizations, which is not really the fact, because these taxes that are put in, the digital taxes, are agnostic to whether the company is of an American origin or a Chinese origin.
Yes, thank you, Jayjit Bhattacharya, for joining us here and for that very clear and concise explanation.